Hey, Undeadhead, welcome to our podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Karen.
And this is The Walking Dead cast, episode 12.
And Jason, if you could see what I see from over here, you'd be having a major freak out.
I thought maybe you were saying it's early in the morning. But I look like a zombie or something. You did freak me out a little bit.
Oh, job well done.
So I'm glad to be back doing that episode. Did you enter the zombie contest?
I did enter the zombie contest, which, by the way, you can't enter for past 6
I know. Last time I forgot, and then I went back to it, and I was like, what?
I know. It was a quick little window of opportunity.
Yeah,
If you don't get that, then you're shut out.
I was thinking about it. It's like when the Romero zombie movies were being produced, nobody really knew, especially early on. So all these Philadelphia people just happened to be in the right place at the right time to be zombies. And I think it's pretty similar with most zombie movies because people don't really hear about it until it's out in the theater, right?
Right.
But because The Walking Dead is ongoing, it's like we're all kind of waking up to the idea that we could be a zombie. It's like kind of we're all, I want to be a zombie. I want to be a zombie. We all want to be zombies.
Contest. Oh, by the way, quick correction. Not Philly, Pittsburgh. I think.
Did I say Philadelphia?
Yeah. Sorry, all you Pittsburgh people out there.
The zombie capital.
So where my people are from.
Oh,
How many
cool.
people? Yeah.
All the zombie half.
Right, the zombie half. It's a mixture.
So today we're going to have our Deadcast top 5 highlights of The Walking Dead episode 2, Guts. And then we'll get some listener feedback, which we like to call listener moans, groans, and grunts. Then we'll have some news about the show. Then we'll get into our comic talk where we talk about how the show's the same and different from the comic, and we'll warn you, we might have some spoilers in that section, so if you want to hear it, you can skip ahead. The podcast is separated up into chapters, so it's pretty easy to just go ahead and skip to the next chapter if you want you that there'll be spoilers.
We recommend using
Every little morsel of goodness. then we'll have next week on Walking Dead, just kind of a brief look at what's coming next. And also, Karen and I both watched Paranormal Activity since last episode, so we'll give you some of our insights on
Paranormal
that.
Activity
2. Okay, let's get into our Deadcast top 5 highlights for Walking Dead episode 2, Guts.
All right. So should we start from? I'm gonna start from 5 and work my way up.
Go for it.
All right. It's kind of a thing. I sort of like checking out the effects and the makeup. I just love that about this. And then makeup's so good. So one of my favorite things is I enjoyed, especially on this episode, looking at zombies in various states of decay. There's a lot of zombies in this episode. A lot of zombies.
Yeah.
And there was one zombie that was and it was so good. There's one that had like a charcoal gray face. And sort of like it had been he or she, whatever. It's zombie, or do you still have gender? He or she. It was hard to determine. It was totally charcoal gray. It was really cool. That was one of my cool things.
I agree. I actually didn't put that down. I was thinking as I did this, I could totally just put zombies on the list every week. As one of my top 5 favorites of the show. But that's an aspect that, yeah, it's awesome to see. Yeah, Greg Nicotero.
Yeah, Greg Nicotero, he's terrific. He's good.
So one thing I noticed, this is my number 5, is that this episode was paced more like an action movie. And I like that they changed the pacing, especially because I've heard that each episode will be a little bit different. You know, if they're all like this, I don't think I would like this much because I also like the slow brooding ones and the ones where there's more suspense. Right. But it was fun to have it be like Glenn driving speeding around in his sports car and all this stuff.
Yeah,
so that was really cool.
Although there was one scene where Laurie was quote unquote in the forest gathering mushrooms.
Yeah.
It was very
yes. And then she got not didn't. Oh,
she did get a couple mushrooms. Yeah. Okay. So my number 4 is was that your number 5 by the way?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I like the so last week the last shot. So the last shot of the first episode was a zoom out from the tank, and it was this really cool shot where the camera slowly went away from the tank, and you could see they were around the tank, you could see the street, and then finally this big crane shot where they did it from the top. It was a really cool shot. This week they did the exact opposite. They came up from the end of that and they zoomed back down.
And you had a good metaphor last week. So it was like ants on a piece of candy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they zoomed back in.
Yeah, zoomed back in. I love that. I love that.
Very good start. And I noticed there wasn't that much music in this episode, and it was cool just to zoom in and hear the little. I applaud Bear McCreary for being very subtle. There was some music, and it was this Disney kind of horror movie.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, which fit the tone.
Totally, yeah. So that's it for number 4. Okay, number 4 for me is I appreciated zombies pounding to get into a shopping mall.
Oh my god, it's so funny you should say that. Didn't remind you of the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday.
In the morning,
right. Right. And I think it was like the year before that. There was a big stampede on the East Coast or some shopping mall, and there was a big stampede, and like people actually got trampled. And I was like, Black Friday.
That's funny. And then I like how Andrea was trying to decide whether or not to take the necklace, you know, and Rick was like, things are different now. And it just points to how there's going to be a lot of themes in the show about how much of our former society and customs should we keep and how much don't really matter anymore.
That's completely falling away.
Yeah, we're also good. Go for it.
Another shot and another moment for me was when he was on. He finally made it up to the department store, top of the department store, and he's on the roof, and he's had just handcuffed the crazy racist guy on the roof, and he went over the edge of the roof, and he introduced himself. And he said something like, "I'm Officer Friendly," and I can't remember who it was, but he said, "Well, Officer Friendly, welcome to the big city," and they show another shot of the city completely overrun by zombies. And I just love that. Welcome to the big city.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. My number 3 is Rick and Glenn just walking among the zombies.
Yes. Super.
Very good, creepy.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah.
The look on Glenn's face. And then my favorite is when they're walking along and there's this big gruesome-looking zombie like right up behind them, kind of following right behind them. It reminds me of when I'm sitting there, some guy who doesn't have a good sense of personal space. So like, get away.
Oh, you're invading my space, dude. Yeah, Glenn looked nervous. I think in the show this episode he was more nervous than he was in the comic. The comic he's pretty cool and collected.
Well, he was damn cool though some of the time.
Yes.
Like, well, that's one of my later things.
Yeah, no, me too.
I just thought I also liked how they kind of were zoned out at first, the zombies, and then they slowly started kind of sniffing and getting curious. Even before it started raining, some of them seemed kind of curious about Glenn and Rick, and then they moved from to being riled up and then hostile. You know, that was just done very well.
Yes.
Oh crap! And the zombies can definitely jog in this, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not run, but
did anyone climb the fence?
Climb over the fence. Yeah,
so they're a little more agile.
Some of them.
Yeah.
That one used to be a football player.
Okay, my number 2 was the final shot of Glenn zooming down the highway and moving up. I loved the highway, the one-way highway out of Atlanta. I loved him in the big muscle car, and he's getting the hell out of Dodge. I love that last shot.
I really liked it too, except I couldn't help but think, oh, so Glenn's the only one who figured out that he could drive on that side of the road.
Maybe that's just something interesting when we were on the bridge this morning. He said, well, maybe the highway was closed, incoming traffic, the military closed incoming traffic, and they kept that side open for the military vehicles.
Oh.
So maybe that's it. In my head, that was it.
So David's one of those guys that's good at coming up with explanations for plot holes.
Yes, exactly. And he's one of these guys who's really irritated by plot holes. Like, I could spend his belief better than he
Yeah, yeah. I was with Doug, who was on a previous episode last night. He was pointing out all the plot holes, and I was starting to explain them. Like, all right, leave me alone. It's a zombie show.
Come on.
Where were we now?
You're on number 2.
I'm on number 2. Okay, I love how Rick is just starting to show leadership qualities. In this episode, I think Glenn was definitely the star. But even though Rick had just really kind of messed up and put all these people in danger, he's still the one to come in and whack Merle upside the head. You know, and just when you think that Merle's like it's gonna be like some of those other zombie movies where the jerk is in control for a while, just snip right in the butt. Right. And I thought he really did a really good job of showing like, you know, I can take charge when something needs to be done.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
And do it forcefully.
Yeah. All right, my number 1 was the zombie they dragged in, whose name was we found out was Wayne Dunlap.
Yeah.
He has $20 in his wallet, and I love that Rick says, "If I ever find my family, I'm going to tell them about Wayne." And he actually says that. And he proceeds to hack him to death, and they tear out his side. I'm thinking, no, Rick, that would be oversharing information. I don't think you should mention Wayne Dunlap. I think you should keep the information to yourself.
All about me. He had this pretty girlfriend, and his intestines were 7 feet long.
I wore him my skin suit.
Well, I loved how he says, this was my favorite line in the whole show. He's like, Wayne Dunlap, 28, has a license. He was one of us, and one more thing, he's an organ donor. Chop, chop, chop. Did you get that? That's hilarious.
He's organ donor.
Which is great. I mean, actually, it's a funny quip, but it makes you feel a little bit better about spreading the all over you. That's kind of what he said he wanted.
Saving their lives. His organs quite literally saving their lives.
That's brilliant. Which brings me to my number 1. I just loved Glenn.
Yeah.
He was awesome. I thought he played the part really well. He was fun to watch. His first line when Rick's going around shooting all the zombies and then points his gun right at Glenn saying, "Oh, not dead."
Oh my God.
And I thought it was really cool how he took charge when they were deciding to go down into the sewer.
Yeah.
He's a young guy, and like he said, he looked scared a lot, but I totally bought that.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought that when he started just barking out instructions to everybody and they followed it.
Right.
I'm impressed that after he pulled out because I felt like if I was there, I'd be listening to him right now.
Yep. I love him. In fact, let's check out.
I love Glenn.
It's written on my notes. It says I heart Glenn.
And hungry and
That's the code. The code last
sure.
Hungry.
I kind of wondered if he had something next that he didn't, so it makes me wonder
Yeah.
what he's doing
Also,
there.
his hat should be in your dainty hat.
And what was it?
It was nothing. In fact,
that's
David
lame.
didn't like how his baseball t-shirt, his baseball jersey, and his hat were unidentified. It had no logos on it at all. And he was like, no, in the book he has your dainty cap on, and he's wearing a baseball jersey. It should represent Liberty. The same.
That's, you know why? That's because they would have to pay and get permission and all that.
That's exactly right.
I'm assuming.
And only nitpicky people like me would
Yeah,
do
dude.
notice. Yeah.
Well, they don't know the reason why.
Not as laid down.
So we verified a couple other things. There was a lot of gore, and I don't dislike gore, but it doesn't really, I don't care that much, you know. I'm not seeing, I don't really get off on it like some people watching me like, yeah. But I do like that they go that far because it just shows me that they're not pulling you punches.
No, they're not. I mean, they when Rick Grimes at one point takes a shovel or an axe or something, and there's a great shot of a zombie getting cleaved into his head, getting separated in two. I'm like, oh, well, they showed that.
But yeah, I didn't get off on that. And then what else? The new characters. When I first heard Name T-Dog, I got kind of nervous because that sounds like a corny name.
Yeah.
But I like the guy. One of my favorites, you might have missed this too, because I did the first time I watched it. Glenn says when he's singing all over himself, he's like, "Oh, this is really bad," and Rick goes, "Think about something else, puppies and kittens." And T-Dog goes, "Dead puppies and kittens."
And then Glenn pukes. Yes, I do remember that.
Awesome. And I guess Andrea and Dale are from the South. They're just passing through. They don't have that sense. And I think Andrea is well,
Right.
she's on her way somewhere.
She's on her way
Don't say
with
any spoilers. People don't know about them yet.
People pretend you did not hear that.
I mean, somebody do. Also, finally, the last thing is we still haven't seen a zombie kill a human.
No, we haven't.
And
We haven't.
I'm beginning to wonder if they're purposefully holding back on that, so that when it does happen, it'll be more shocking. Because we'll get to know somebody
Yeah,
first. You know?
yeah. I mean, in the comic, I don't remember the first time we see that. Maybe it's the first time.
Don't say.
Oh, don't. Fine.
I don't give anything away. I think I remember the first kill.
Can I say something about one thing that I wish I had done? Of course. And this is actually a shout out to Anthony Candy. They're in a department store, right? They're in a department store. The department store is going to have all kinds of stuff in it, all kinds of crap, like protective gear. So when you go out into on the town, even when you're dismembering a zombie, it's going to go on you. You can, I mean, they have protective gear, they kind of did, But if it's really important that you don't get zombie goo in your eyes and you don't get scratched even, then you go down to the athletics department of the store and you get all kinds of gear and gear up for when you go out and on the town. Because something knows protective gear, but you get a cool leather jacket or something. Just saying.
Yeah, I think the reason they don't do that is because the same reason why in every superhero movie the hero ends up taking his mask off in the last scene because they like to see the emotion on the person's face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as far as not having their head covered. I mean, they could still have a big bulky football suit on or something like that.
Right.
And they wouldn't be as mobile.
No, yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too.
But I did like that they paid attention to not getting in their eyes or mouth
Yes,
or anything.
exactly.
If he hadn't said that, I'm sure Glenn would have been just licking himself.
Wow.
Let's see. Okay, so I think that's it for Dick All right, let's move on to our listener moans, groans, and grunts.
Let's do that. I love it so much.
So this week we got a lot of input from listeners, and thank you. I really appreciate that. But before we get into that, I just want to say that I realized after the last episode that I've actually been kind of remiss. Like I made this big thing of saying, okay, write us a haiku review on iTunes, and I'll send you a personal haiku back. And then I kind of just was like, if you want it, write me back and tell me. And I'm like, no, I should probably just. I said I was going to do that. So I went back and got all the recent haikus and I wrote my own personal responses here. So I'm going to read those.
Okay.
Okay. So Scott Williams wrote, the Deadcast is fun, Jason Karen are great, 5 stars for zombies. And I wrote back, you are very kind, but why do the zombies get 5 stars and not us? There you go.
Because they're zombies and we're not.
Yeah, I guess. Sweet Life Dude wrote, Jason and Karen, the best Walking Dead podcast. This cast is cocaine. And I wrote, as I once mentioned, it is a great compliment. Do you have it? So thank you. And then finally, Dobutu said, Jason and Karen talk about zombies and crap. 5 more syllables. And I wrote, hello Dobutu, now 7 more syllables. Zombies, crap. So there you go.
7 more
So you're
syllables.
happy.
That's great.
So showing you some letters.
Do. So the first one is from Brian H. in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He says, Karen Jason, I'm enjoying your podcast and totally psyched for the show. I like how the TV show has built upon what was in the comic, particularly the depth and attention given to character Morgan Jones. I like it too. I regret slightly that the show had Jones explain the zombie rules, whereas the series let the reader discover or intuit those rules. But I guess that's a sacrifice you make for live audience television. I want to know why is it that characters who populate zombie movies have never heard of zombies before? When Morgan Jones explains that people become better themselves, I wanted to say, oh, you mean they're zombies? Oh, Brian.
I think that the part of that is just to kind of keep the mystique of it.
Yeah.
You know, if they've all seen Romero movies, then it's sort of this, instead of being, oh my god, the dead are coming back to life, it's more like, oh, this pop cultural phenomenon is becoming true. It's a little different, but I've heard that complaint a lot, actually.
Yeah, they're walkers, they're
Yeah,
fighters.
geeks, I think they've been calling this one, right? Didn't they say geeks a lot?
Did they?
I think so.
Oh, that's actually cool. Most interesting, Brian continues, and potentially very important in terms of the difference between the TV series and the comic, is the scene in which Jones' wife tries the door handle while Rick watches her from the other side. The comic, as with most zombie movies, makes it clear that once a person joins The Walking Dead, they have no connection to their former selves. They don't respond to pleas from loved ones who recognize them, or at least not eat them. The scene with the doorknob, though, suggests that Morgan Jones' wife knows that there's a reason to go into the house, suggesting at the very least that zombies aren't totally brainless eating machines. There's some sort of intelligence, some agent of not eating action work. At the very least, this is a zombie that remembers how to use doors, and possibly a zombie that's retained a link to a sense of place. It'll be interesting to see if this is born out, how this is born out.
I think he's making a huge assumption that the zombie is not just trying to get in to eat her husband. It's like, I remember something good in there, something good to eat. I would love to eat you.
You know how parents always say their babies smell good? Like, oh, that baby smells really good.
Yeah, it's just slightly different take on that.
Exactly.
Smell good, smell tasty.
Finally, he says, Brian continues, after last night's first episode, my wife, who has potty trained 2 toddlers, once caught a bat in our apartment, reads all the True Blood books, and is in no way a shrinking violet. Made me walk her upstairs. Any show that can do that is a good gold dang show. I look forward to hearing the 2 of you discuss the premiere. Brian H. Yay.
Thanks, Brian. That was awesome.
Brian, you're right.
Yeah, he's not smart. And I do agree with you that there's, it looks like they're focusing on the zombies having some sense of humanity left more than some movies do.
Yeah.
It looks like there's some awareness going on sometimes. In fact, this next email, kind of points to that from Dawn. She says, when Rick was on top of the tank at the end, surrounded by zombies, this is in the first episode, by the way. One zombie looked at him like he was thinking something. You remember that, Karen?
Yeah. Well, that was
Same one that was
yes.
on the bus.
Right, I like him.
A couple of the other Walking Dead podcasts have dubbed this guy Buster. So that's what we're
Sorry,
talking
Buster, I like him.
So Don says, was Buster really Buster really a zombie or just pretending to be one to blend in? I don't think so. I think he's really a zombie, but that there is some awareness there.
Yeah.
How do zombies know that you aren't one of them? Do they fall for shuffling walk, big makeup, and moaning? Smell.
Yeah, smell. Stench.
Love the first episode. It'll be my new addiction, Don.
Oh, thanks, Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn.
Awesome. By the way, you noticed that Rick and Glenn were like chatting? Really chatting? I mean, they clearly were
They
chatting.
talked. Yeah, every time they have me do, I'm like, shut up.
Start running.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is from Evan. Hi, Jason and Karen. About a week ago now, with the premiere of Walking Dead closing ever so slowly, not like a slow walker, I had a happy brainstorm to see if there were like-minded fans waiting in podcast land. Lo and behold, Walking Dead cast was the first I found. I downloaded the link and listened, and now you know. I enjoyed the conversation, albeit mostly one-sided. No, I didn't hear. There wasn't here. And thank you did a great job of keeping it interesting without having a lot of show content to work with. For what's worth, I have tried diligently to spread the word about The Walking Dead through a couple of different zombie-related websites and game services and content. It amazes me how many people I would find to delve into the zombie genre and still knew nothing of the upcoming premiere or even that The Walking Dead existed in any form. I've added your podcast to my word of mouth campaign and never to share everything The Walking Dead is a hit.
Awesome. Thank you.
However, you did hurt my feelings just a little bit. That's right. I'm down to just one now. I think it was episode 10. Someone indicated that they were getting your podcast off the Zoom network and was subsequently secret app. I'm here to let you know there are at least 2 of us now accessing your podcast via the Zoom network, and I download and listen via my nearly superior in every way HD. Take that, you 3 trillion iPod users.
Okay, so yeah, that was my fault. And that's because the Zoom sucks. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. So here's the story. My buddy Chad and I, who used to be roommates, he worked at Microsoft, I worked at Apple. I actually wrote the manual for the iPod, we were the first iPod, and so we always had this kind of rivalry. And so that's why I was laughing, because I was kind of more laughing at him because we had this rivalry. But I actually do think that the Zoom is awesome, especially the Zoom HD. I really like Microsoft. The HI looks great, and I played with it and I like it. And I'm actually thinking that the Windows Phone 7 is going to be really cool because they basically took all the ideas for Zoom and made them go throughout the whole phone. So I'm in my
So how's that, Evan? You feel better about us now? We want you to feel better about us. Okay, he continues. As for The Walking Dead premiere, I thought it was great. It was great from top to bottom. It's not just a zombie fest, but it has heart. I hope we'll keep this throughout to run hopefully a very long entertainment. I agree. Not sure what my favorite part was, but the issue with having a still family member who has had the most, who has had the most misfortune, this is working out really well. Folks. Who had the misfortune to become a walker is a poignant dilemma. I have had difficulty with the idea where my medium family is concerned. I'm glad you've had difficulty. That's good. But I ensured my girlfriend's mom that I could put her down if the time came. I think I lost my chance at a great Christmas gift this year.
Yeah.
I just assured her all about protecting her grandkids. Yeah, I agree.
So just lie next time.
Yeah. Mom, I could never kill you. That's the line that I
Or just don't bring up killing.
The leaving the hospital seems frighteningly eerie and would be a terrifying predicament to wake up to. I don't think an exact timeline was given as to how long Rick was hospitalized or at what point during his hospitalization did he and walking to the state too soon. I was still right with the world when his partner brought flowers. So everything went real bad within 2 weeks or so it took the flowers to sprout. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Can't wait for next time again. Keep up the good work and look forward to keeping track of all things The Walking Dead. With your help, thanks. Sincerely, Evan in Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach.
Awesome. Thanks, Evan. Hope you're not too mad at me for all those Zoom comments.
Remember, it's all
Okay, so now next is from Joe. I came across your podcast when I was looking for an official Walking Dead podcast. Breaking Bad has one, so I thought this show might have one too. When I heard your show, I fell in love.
Aw.
I love your top 5 lists you do every week, so I figured I'd suggest a list. I got bit and became a zombie, and it seems all the living have either fled or have been eaten. And not to mention the horse we killed is nothing but bones by now, and the guy inside the tank doesn't seem to be coming out anytime soon. So seeing as the zombies tend to lurk around and do things they did while they were alive, what are the top 5 things you do as a zombie when there's nothing around to eat?
Oh,
Awesome, huh?
that's a great
So he actually went on to give his 5 things, but,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to read it because I actually do think that's an awesome idea.
It really
And we're not doing those dead cast top 5s with other subjects until the show's over, but I promise that'll be the first one we do.
Yeah, and that will probably be, the season finale is December 5th,
Yeah.
I think, and so shortly after. So
Yes.
wait a couple weeks and we will do all the Joe. Man, that's awesome.
And since your next, wait, I think this is you who also left us a really glowing 4-star review on iTunes. Maybe we can that 5-star if we do this.
Hey, does the network do ratings?
I don't know. Somebody knows that.
That's
I probably do, but
That's interesting.
yeah, I got to check
Or if you do like a little reviews or whatever. Okay,
So
and
go
this,
into the iTunes reviews?
yeah, this is from iTunes, and this is from Jose Z, which may or may not be true. It's titled Dead and damn, someone got it already. That's funny. Just started looking for Walking Dead podcast, and so far this is the best. Oh, thanks. The hosts work really well together. They talk about themselves a bit, so you know where they're coming from as fans. And the show is split into chapters, so you can see 2 different segments. Awesome. Not to mention, really funny. Thanks, dude. I'm actually going to go back and listen to past episodes. I think we're not as funny. No.
Okay, next is from Dizzle John, who says, I haven't read the comics yet. I'm a huge zombie fan, though, and I knew about comics from friends other places. When I heard that The Walking Dead was going to be put into the TV series, I looked you guys up on iTunes. I was searching for anything to do with Walking Dead so I can learn as much as possible. And now hooked. After the podcast and after this week's episode, I'm buying any issues I can get my hands on. Thanks and keep up the great work. You guys rock. Thank you.
Dizzle John.
Dizzle J.
This one's titled Quick Way to Take on the Zombie Apocalypse by Altair J, maybe?
Yep.
All right, that's what I'm going with. Of all the Walking Dead podcasts I've had, this is by far my favorite. Thanks, dude. Jason's funny, smart, and it feels, and can't read. That's fun. It feels like hanging out with a couple of your more entertaining friends as a geek obsessively about the TV show, The Comic and Zombie that happens to Shamble by. They warn you about spoilers, and then they really talk.
Stop really slows down.
Thank you.
I
That's how we carry.
Very cool. I like that she said we geek off. That's a little edgy.
I like it, yeah, we do.
Okay, well, stick around because we're going to have some news about the show. We're going to talk about how the comic is different from the show, and we're going to give you a little preview of what's coming up next.
And review Paranormal Activity 2.
That's right. So we're Walking Dead cast. Stay with us. All right, we're back and we got some news about the show. The big news that you probably heard is that it got awesome ratings. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
This is from AMC's website. Last weekend, 11.6 million people tuned in for the first episode of The Walking Dead, the highest ever series premiere for AMC, the biggest cable series debut in 2010, and largest basic cable premiere for the 18 to 49 demographic since 2003.
Good lord. What was
Amazing.
it in 2003?
People's Playhouse? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Wonder what it was.
I don't know. Maybe Sopranos. I don't know. In addition, the show is one of the top 3 telecasts of the week. Don't miss what Vanity Fair is calling the best new television show of the year, and what the Los Angeles Times is hailing as the first zombie epic to rival Gone with the Wind. Okay.
New York Times said that?
Los Angeles Times. Why would they say that?
So, Gone with the Wind.
Is it a Southern thing?
It must be because it's I can think of zombies and Gone with the Wind. Any listeners out there can think of any Gone with the Wind zombies? Let me know, because now I'm really curious.
So that's great. I'm really stoked that it got good ratings.
Yeah.
I mean, we get good ratings.
Or it's a good show and we're
That
really
too.
for it.
There's a great video on the AMC site about Inside the Walking Dead episode 2. I watched the first minute, it's like 5 minutes. I liked it. I decided to stop watching it and play it during the show for the first time. If you want to actually see the video, go to the AMC website. We're going to play the audio right now. So here we go.
Episode 2 is remake action movie episode. And it's got this frantic, kinetic energy. You meet people along with dialogue. It's like Escape from Atlanta. We're trying to place men now. Rick needs the ensemble. You know, cast the regulars that the show will deal with.
The reason why Andrea pulls a gun on Rick in episode 2 is because she kind of momentarily loses her mind. It's really kind of a lapse in judgment out of pure adrenaline and panic because his Clint Eastwood shooting the guns in the streets has attracted hundreds, if not thousands of zombies. And because of this man, we're more than likely gonna die. And if I die, my sister's gonna die because there's nobody to take care of her. So it's just blind rage.
The world has changed, and so no matter who you were before, you're really different now. Merle is acting like an idiot out there, and now they're shooting off rounds.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing him, the actor, talk about the character like an idiot because when you just see the character, you're like, I hate that guy. You see the actor, hate him too, and I feel there about my worker.
Yeah, it's not you, Michael.
That we don't really have.
Look, it's turning into kind of like this ninja. What happens if you take away civilization? What's left? What we're saying is some people don't do well in those situations. Some people are comes out of mystery, all this stuff. Old characters are riddled with conflicts.
Rick Airline does a great job of layering the touches of humanity into this really bizarre situation.
See something you like?
Not me, but I know someone who would. My sister.
We find out that this woman who's been pretty strong, we find vulnerability within her, and she's got heart, and she's scared, and she's worried.
We consider
I don't think those rules apply anymore. Do you?
We learn that Rick is touched by this and can be supportive, and at the same time, that the world has changed as we know it. She's got thousands of zombies that are trying to kill her. It's very real touching moments like that that layer in amongst all the action and craziness that help us identify with these characters. Okay, thanks. Just stand right for a second. We were in the department, and all the zombies were only teens of zombies. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Somebody, Jenny said that too. She's like, you're just hunting. We're
hey, in the morale.
just having this nice little conversation about food.
Exactly.
Part of the situation of this, zombie apocalypse, I think it makes everybody sort of act out in desperation at a certain time.
Well, I think it makes things start out between Rory and Shane, at least in Rory's mind. This isn't a relationship, we're not dating. It's very primal, it's very animal, there's no romance to it, there's no poetry. I think that's all. There's a need for people to have another human body to hold on to feel comfort with for a short time. It was.
See, during Comic-Con, I was there, I saw all the actors in the panel, and people like kind of, when Shane said that he was Rick's best friend, and people were like, and then the lawyer who researched, she's like, it's not what you think, but that's pretty much what I thought.
Yeah, it is.
Lust.
There's a reason why episode 1 or 2 called Bats.
Yeah,
It's the only way I can describe it. This week, on acid.
Andrew Lincoln is just such a wonderful actor.
Yeah, $28 is about 20 died. Yeah, picture of a pretty girl.
His delivery really just kind of stopped time because he really took in the humanity of that person. And he forced all of us to. It was more than just a body. This was somebody who had a first love and who had dreams and had a family.
If I ever found a family, I'm gonna tell them that way.
And this is who they are now. It's just so sad.
Glenn has to fight these urges of just sheer terror, to get covered in gore and zombie guts, to walk down in a mass full of zombies. It's a crazy, ridiculous idea, but he trusts Rick enough to go along with it. Glenn looks at Rick and sees what he wants to be. When Glenn takes that car out and just wails it. It's awesome, he's never gonna do that. He's never probably in some sort of like Honda Civic or something like that. And finally gets his hand on something with a Hemi. There's no traffic to stop him, but every dude's dream. It's a relief and release of all the stress that's happening.
The Walking Dead. Oh, no, so Sunday Night at 10 on AMC.
Okay, so that was
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
There was a great interview with Stephen Yoon, who plays Glenn up on the AMC blog.
He's cute as a button too. Face it.
He's cute. Okay. So I won't read the whole thing because you can go there to see it, but there's a couple interesting ones. What did the guts of the walker you were smearing on yourself really smell like? Oh my gosh, horrible, so horrible. All props to Greg and his team. It was not hard to believe what was going on. It didn't smell like what guts probably would think God or I would totally act, but it definitely had this chemically rubbery smell. All I know is it looks ridiculously real. The moment we had it on us, Andy and I looked at each other in absolute disgust. And then he says, did you get to know any of the Walker extras? I did get to talk to some of them. One gave me a back massage, which was nice. She said she used to be a masseuse, so I said, okay, great. I hope no fans are watching me see Glenn avoiding the enemy. And they say then the camera started rolling and she was snarling me through the fence. It was pretty crazy.
That's hilarious. I would love to see a picture of him getting a background.
Oh, I bet that exists somewhere. I'm sure it does.
Please let me be an extra so that I can do the Star Trek.
Yep. And like no on their head every once in a while.
Oh, sorry.
So like I said, if you want to read that full interview, he talks about what skills he personally possesses that come handy during zombie apocalypse and other cool things. You can go to blogs.amctv.com. And then there's more interviews and all kinds of stuff popping up all over the web. Robert Kirkman has some good ones up on IGN.com and one at Entertainment Weekly. And I recommend if you're interested to go check those out.
So have they come out yet with any predictions about continuing the season 2?
No, not that I know. I've been kind of keeping an eye out for that. I don't know what they're waiting for.
Yeah, and the whole contest, the Stagger-On contest, that must be an opportunity for season 2 because I'm sure they've already shot all. I mean, there's only 4 more episodes, right?
They've shot them all, yeah.
They've shot them all. So then the Shyamalan has contest has got to be a contest for season 2.
Yeah, I'm sure the fine print says if there's season 2, you'll be able to come on the show. You know,
Yeah,
if not, you can just dress up like a zombie and stagger around anyway.
That'd be great. You never love that.
Okay, that's it for the news. Let's move on to comic talk. If you haven't read the comic and you don't like spoilers, I say skip this section. Karen says listen anyway.
You decide.
You decide. But just know that there will be spoilers starting now.
Yeah, okay. My first one, the Shane Laurie affair, way more intense on television show.
Yeah, in the comic, I think it was treated more like a one-time mistake.
Yes,
Because she
yes.
needed comfort and kind of broke down.
A particularly bad time he
Right.
was there for.
And not like a lusty, like,
Me in the forest
just me now.
when I fake my mushroom collecting.
And I didn't know that what she was doing. So she just said, I gotta go. She didn't even say why.
She
but-
grabbed a little bucket and she could go get some. Yeah. I can go get some.
Yeah, that's just, that was disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes you not like her.
I know. It kind of makes me feel less happy about Laurie and less happy about Shane.
In the comic, though, I know some people who read the comic feel the same way.
Yeah.
They don't like Laurie.
Yeah.
Because she cheated on Rick and she complains a lot.
And can I just say also if my David was in the hospital in a coma and the zombie apocalypse goes down, I'm bringing him with me. I'm gonna drag him with me. They just left him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I might go to the hospital and then barricade myself in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, you know?
Yeah, stay there. Yeah, that's good. I think in the comic they say that they thought he'd be safe there because when they left, it was all like,
Oh,
why leave then?
They
He's
got
safe.
safe enough going.
Yeah, that's one of the problems. Okay, so let's see. Well, first of all, I think most of the show is different from the comic. The whole
Yeah.
Vets thing is in issue 4, but that's after Glenn and Rick have already made it back to the camp,
Right.
and they're doing this. They're doing all of themselves to get into the city to get guns.
Right.
And I like it better in this episode how they did it, actually get out of a desperate situation
Yes.
rather than go
Yes.
back in. It
Yeah.
made more sense that they would go to that extreme, you know, because they thought they were gonna die. They didn't.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it was perfect. Different times,
Yeah.
different measures.
Although even okay, so I'm of two minds on this. I like that they did the guts thing because it was interesting,
Yeah.
and crazy. But even when I read the comic, I remember thinking, should they really be this early in the story thinking of a way that you can get around the zombies? You know?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't like that. We'll see if they. I think they do use it again one other time in the comic, but
Yeah, and this episode was, like I said, very zombie centric.
Yeah.
It was zombies figured heavily into this episode. When the first time he visited Atlanta, they also I got the sense he wasn't there for that long in Atlanta. The first time he was there, and sort of Glenn pulls him out of the
Yeah, right
support,
away.
and then they pretty much they go up to the office building, they leap across the rooftops, and they save enough pretty much. Yeah, this was all about Atlanta.
yeah.
And
What else?
and we meet Andrea, we meet all those other characters.
Who are in the comic?
Right.
I think Andrea's the only one. In
Is
the group
she?
that's in Andrea and Glenn.
Yeah, absolutely.
T-Dog and Merle and the other ones, I think Jackie.
Not in it.
Not in it.
Yeah, Jackie, she worked for the city's permit.
That's right.
Handy.
Uh-huh.
Very, very handy.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and by the way, did you notice, back up to the beginning for a second, did you notice that I think the intro was new?
Was it?
I thought it was.
You mean from last week?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't
Maybe
know.
I'm
Could be. Let's see. Well, there were some iconic images like Dale standing on top of his RV that's in the comic. You know?
Yeah,
I've seen that.
yeah.
And Andrea, who was not good with the gun at first, and that's cool, especially for comic fans because you know she's gonna be a badass later on.
Oh, that's right.
She kind of fumbled around and
She had the safety on.
yeah, that's right,
Yeah, Rick tells her, yeah, the little red dot, that means you can fire.
And I found I took a screenshot of an interesting picture of someone who was at the camp, but they kind of just panned by. Can you see who that is?
No, I can't. Who's that?
That's Jim.
Oh, cool.
It's the guy who Karen was saying last time. She's excited to see him.
That's him because
He didn't and then get left.
Right, exactly. Sorry, people. Well,
Yeah, that's spoiler for comic readers.
Yeah.
So you guys already should know that Jim. He's the one who gets bitten and says he wants to just left so he can join his family.
Yeah, I'm not a zombie nuclear family.
And at the beginning of this episode, I did notice that it said guest starring Michael Rothenberg, who's Jim,
Guest starring.
and Emma Bell also, and Michael Rooker, and Juan Parejas, who's Morales. They're all guest starring.
Is Annabelle Amy?
Yeah.
Well, that explains it.
She's the one. But I have rumors that she didn't, so I don't know. And I also see that I think Merle is going to come back. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just mess with our heads.
They're probably going to go back and get Merle. What do you think about Merle being left on the roof?
I thought that was cool. I thought it was great. Yeah, because he was going to try to T-Dog was going to try to save him, and
Yeah.
he messed it up, and then he kind of panicked and did the best he could by locking that thing so he wouldn't get eaten.
Yeah, exactly. But they're going to go back and get him. The hacksaw's still up there, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
going to grab the hacksaw. They'll go back.
What else is? Since there wasn't that much that was the same in the comics, I
Yeah.
think there's a whole lot to talk about, right?
Right.
Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to next week on Walking Dead, because actually some of the stuff that you were saying feeds into this. So again, if you don't want to hear a synopsis of what's going to happen next week, you should skip on to the end, because I'm going to read it right now. Episode 2 is entitled "Tell It to the Frogs."
Tell it to the frogs.
Is frog some kind of a biblical reference?
It's a reference to the French.
This episode takes place in South West. Rick makes a decision to go back to Atlanta to retrieve the bag of guns and save a man's life.
Yep.
I think the man is
It's
going to
Merle.
be Merle. Yeah. Laurie and Shane must deal with the surprising return of someone they thought was dead. That is, of course, Rick. The writer of this episode is Frank Darabont. He wrote, I guess, co-wrote the first 3 episodes.
Did he with them?
I don't know who I didn't. Curtin wrote 4, so we'll see how that is. The cast is all the usual suspects: Emma Bell, who's Amy, John Bernthal, who's Shane, Jeffrey Dale, Laurie Holden, who's Andrea, Andrew, who's Rich, Chandler Riggs, who's Carl, Sarah Wayne Callies, who's Laurie, Stephen Young, who's Glenn, and then there's Adam Mirovich, who's Ed. Do you remember Ed?
No,
Because I guess he was in this one too, but I just don't remember who he was. Sorry, Adam, if you're listening, I'll pay closer attention next time. Juan Gabriel Pareja, who's Morales, Daryl Prescott, who's Jackie, Vivian Chavez, who's Miranda. Do you remember Miranda?
No.
That's a new one. Michael Rooker, who's Merle. So yeah, we're going back to him. Norman Reedus, who's Daryl Dixon, that's his brother, who's
Yeah,
pissed off.
that's what I love. You love him?
Andrew Rothenberg, who's Jim. And then there's kids, Madison Lynch, who's Sophia. You know, remember her?
Yeah. She's the kid of
Friend of Carl,
Right.
yeah. And there's also Maddie Lomax and Noah Lomax who play Eliza and Lewis. They're both kids. And Melissa Suzanne Bride, who's Carol, who I think is Sophia's mom
Yeah.
in the comic. So more characters from the comic. Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Walking Dead, ready to close the show?
I am.
Right. Okay, that's our show, episode 12.
Thanks for listening.
Except we have a lot to talk about.
Okay, that's true.
We saw Paranormal Activity 2. I actually saw the first one with Karen when it came out last year, so
Yeah.
we went to see the second one. And you want to talk about it? So what do you think?
Yeah. I like the first one a lot, so I like the second one as well. As so Jason Kim, Jenny, and David Kimpney, and so we all saw it together. And it's not like the first one. I did point out the second one was pretty much the same movie.
Yeah.
Just like the exact same movie, except maybe on steroids. So
But only just a small dose of steroids.
yeah. I controlled this too.
Yeah.
But I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Me too. I didn't like it as much as the first one.
Yeah.
Because the first one I just felt like was so original.
Yes.
And it just done a little bit creepier. Like they had more scenes of her standing there,
Yes.
and the camera would go on for fast forward.
That's what David said was like his favorite part of the first
Yeah,
movie.
and they did that in this one only with the dog.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It was weird. I think they just thought it would be too repetitive, maybe, but the whole movie was pretty repetitive. I was scared and I jumped, and,
Yeah.
but I wasn't freaked out afterwards.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither. And it explained. I like that it filled in and kind of explained what was going on with the first movie.
Yes, yeah,
It set up everything for the first movie.
Yeah.
Really.
Although on the other hand, that kind of explaining it too much can take away the freakiness of what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I like that. I thought they did it very well, but I think they also made it less freaky.
And they also beautifully set up for Paranormal Activity 3.
Overall, I'd highly recommend it because I mean, most horror movies I see are just kind of okay,
Yeah.
and I thought this one really got me, so that's good.
I would say 2 amputated thumbs up.
That's like none. Oh, you have just thumbs and no hands?
Yes.
Okay.
They're dismembered. They're dismembered thumbs.
Okay, so let's move on to some acknowledgements and thanks. I like to thank every once in a while, just remind everyone that Nathan Elstead was really kind to donate or let us use our intro music and this music that you're hearing right now. He created it and it's called Music for Me and it's available on iTunes if you like it, you want to download it.
I really like it. You did a great job.
Yeah, me too. I also want to thank the guys over at The Walking Dead Podcast for letting us use www.thewalkingdeadcast.com. They own that. Ours is Walking Deadcast.
Yeah.
Now if you type in thewalkingdeadcast.com, you'll also be redirected to our
That's so
site.
cool. They changed everything.
It was very cool, and they said that we could use it as long as we help them promote stuff. So as long as it doesn't turn into some kind of Godfather-like situation, I'm totally down with that.
Even if it does turn into a Godfather-like situation, it'd be awesome.
But in all seriousness, they did not have to get that so I think that's really awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. And they're great, by the way. If you haven't heard them, you should check them out. Walking Dead Podcast. And they are throwing a big Walking Dead finale party, and it's on the night of the finale of the season, Sunday, December 5th at 7 p.m. at Aces Loaded in Antioch, which is up here in the East Bay, Northern California. Karen and I are going to be there too. There's going to be prizes, interviews with fans. I guess I haven't been there, but you told me they have 32 screens that will all be showing that episode.
So cool.
Yeah, we all watch together, and there'll be a post-show podcast with fan reactions. And I think you and I are going to guest on that. We'll talk about the details of it.
Awesome. And there'll be beer.
And there'll be plenty of beer flowing. And yeah, so if you guys are up here in California, or if you're just feeling adventurous, check out where Basis Loaded is in Antioch, and, or you can also go to the Walking Dead Podcast website and probably find out more information about how to go to that party. That'd be awesome to meet some of you guys there.
No, maybe we can have.
As long as we're doing all these things, I want to mention again that we're part of the Walking Dead Podcast Network at Forum for Geeks. They have forums for our podcast, Walking Dead TV Podcast, Zombie Grill, Behind the Cutting Edge, Walking Dead Edition, and one of my favorites, Talking Dead. And as an aside, there are now 5,367 Walking Dead podcasts on iTunes.
That's a lot.
Really wow. And we're number 4.
We're number 4.
And Jill, I want to thank you, Karen, coming in.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank all the listeners who emailed and wrote iTunes reviews.
Thanks, guys.
Speaking of which, we could do some more iTunes reviews. If you like the show, if you actually like it, please go on iTunes and give us a review. Let us know what you think.
If you don't like the show,
Don't go on there.
probably don't.
Yeah, this way. Million hours. Really unnecessary. Also, remember calling an email Sunday night after episode 3 and give your thoughts. And if we get some calls or emails, we'll definitely get in for the show for that episode.
Great.
So how can people know this?
You can email us at brains@walkingdeadcast.com. That's brains@walkingdeadcast.com.
You can call us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323.
You can check out our website and leave comments at walkingdeadcast.com.
And we're also at twitter.com/Jason and Karen, or you can find us on Facebook by searching for Walking Dead Cast. All right, that's our show.
Thanks for listening.
Don't get bit.
Where are you? Outside? Can you see me right now? Yeah, I can see you. There's a lot of bars. That's bad news. It's good news. It's hard to remember now, but the internet used to be fun.
I can't believe how easy it is to surf the net. Surf's up.
On Launch Shadow, Breaking the Internet, we'll trace how a tool that once fueled democracy.
Opposition activists organize mobs on Facebook.
Became a weapon aimed at the very heart of it.
You're watching the unraveling of our democracy right now.
From Longleaf and PRX, this is Launch Shadow, Breaking the Internet. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Rick Beck, and I'm Royce Yepov. Welcome to our chart-topping podcast from Harvard Business School, Think Big, Buy Small. This series lets you in on a special way to become an entrepreneur, how to buy your own business, be your own boss, and get the financial benefits of your efforts. Entrepreneurship through acquisition involves searching for an existing, enduringly profitable, smaller business and buying it, usually from a retiring founder.
Back for a brand new season, our conversations are with guests from all backgrounds and different stages of the entrepreneurship through acquisition journey. From those considering whether this path is right for them, all the way through to those who have sold the businesses they bought as searchers and ran as CEOs. Thousands of smaller firms are sold every year, and many people have successfully acquired an existing business that is enduringly profitable. So why not you too?
We've been helping students understand this less traveled path of personal and professional independence in our courses at the Harvard Business School for nearly 15 years. But you don't have to attend the Harvard Business School to take advantage of these opportunities. The goal of the Think Big, Buy Small podcast is to help you, our listeners, decide if entrepreneurship through acquisition is for you, and if it is, to help you take your first steps on the journey to buying your own business. Follow Think Big, Buy Small wherever you get your podcasts.